Hey everyone, welcome to another video by Python Pool. So in this video we're going to see Pylab module in Matplotlib. We'll learn about the Pylab module. We'll also learn about the object-oriented interface in the Matplotlib and some of the functions used in object-oriented interface. So talking of the Pylab module, it is a procedural interface to the Matplotlib object-oriented plotting library. So if we want to plot any functional graph, we use Pylab module. But in the today's world, PyPlot module is widely used rather than using Pylab module. Let's see some of the examples using Pylab module. In the last video, we saw the sine function plot that was a simple plot using the PyPlot module. But today, we're going to see some of the examples using Pylab module. So talking about this graph, we're going to design this graph today using Pylab module. First of all, I'm going to code one file, name it as test1.py. Okay, and once my file is ready, I'm going to import that matplotlib module. So from matplotlib, I'm going to import pyplot. Okay, we are using Pylab, so I'm not going to import matplotlib. I'm just going to import numpy. So from numpy, I'm going to import everything. Import star, and from Pylab. From Pylab, I'm going to import star. And once I have these two modules, I'm going to define the x-axis, what is there in x-axis. So I'm going to use this line space function. And from -3 to 3, I need my graph with a gap of 30. And my y would be related to x, that is x square. So what is my equation? Y equals to x square is my equation, where my x lies between -3 to 3 with a gap of 30 units. Okay. Now I'm going to call this plot function, and what I'm going to plot, whatever it is given in x and y. And after plotting this, I'm going to show it. So that's it. Let's hit save. Let's see if it works. Python test1.py. And once I run this program, it would take a little much of time to run because Pylab module is not so quick, but you could see we got our expected graph. Okay. Now let's see another example in this Pylab. After obtaining this graph, I can also customize the plotting of the graph. If I want a dash graph, if I want a point plotted graph, if I want a horizontal graph, vertical graph, that's how I can customize the plotting of the graph. Whether it should be the straight graph, whether it should be a curve, or it should be dashed, it should be pointed. It depends on me. So let's see in Pylab how we define this point plotted graph. Let me code another file, name it as test2.py. And once my file is ready, I'm going to close this test1.py. And I'm once again going to import this Pylab. So from Pylab, I'm going to import everything. And after this, I'm going to set the same intervals, that is -3 to 3 with a gap of 30 square units. And y equation would be the same, that is x square. But instead of plotting simply x and y, I'm going to give another parameter to this plot function. That is, I want a graph to be plotted in the red color and in a dotted manner. So once I give this r and dot, these are the two parameters or two characteristics in which I want my graph to be plotted. That it should be plotted in the red color and it should be the dotted graph. And once I write show, I call this show function and I save this program. I go to my terminal. If I run this program, and you could see we got a proper graph in the same manner that we obtained earlier, but in the dotted manner. That's how I could plot this dotted graph. Now another type of example we are going to see. We saw these two examples in Pylab. Now we are going to see this type of graph, which contains the normal graph, which contains our color specified graph, and which contains our color specified dashed graph. Like we could design a multiple graphs in the same frame, in the same canvas using Pylab. Let's see how can we define this graph. Let me code another file, name it as test3.py. And once my file is ready, once again I'm going to import my function. That is, I'm going to close this test2, and from Pylab, I'm going to import star, and I'm going to plot 3 plots. First of the plot would be weight. First of all, I'm going to give the equation for my x-axis, that is same, that is -3 to 3 with a gap of 30 square units. And after giving this, I'm going to plot 3 plots. First of all, I'm going to give this simple plot x and y. No, it is not any y, so x and sin x. First plot would be my sin x. Next plot would be my cos x, x and cos x. So my y would be equals to cos x, but in a different manner. This one I'm going to plot in the red color, but with the solid graph. It wouldn't be dashed, it wouldn't be pointed, it would be the solid graph. And next one I'm going to plot minus sin x graph, minus of sin x graph, but in the dash manner. So how could I give this? I am giving the green color, and it should be double dashed. So my sin x graph would be the simple graph, that the blue graph which I used to plot. My cos x graph would be the red color graph, which would be the solid, and my minus sin x graph would be the green color graph, which would be the dashed. So let's run this program. Let's see what we obtained. And once I run this program, okay, I didn't call the show function, so it's not showing. Once I call this show function, I save it once again, run it once again, and you could see I got my sin x to be the blue color, which is the simple graph. Considering cos x, it is the red graph, which is the simple line but in the red color, solid line. And the next one is the minus sin x graph, which is directly opposite to this blue one, because it is the minus one, and it has the green color with a dotted, with the not dotted, with a dashed line. So this type of graphs you can design with PyLab, but nowadays PyLab is not used much. PyPlot has taken its place. So PyPlot, we could define the PyPlot, and there is a advantage in PyPlot, because we could define the axis and we could define the functions, or we could define the figures in the PyPlot as well. So PyPlot is widely used nowadays. Now coming to the object-oriented interface in Matplotlib. What is object-oriented interface, and what is the main idea behind this? So in the programming, what is object-oriented programming? Everything which could be accessed with the help of a simple object, but could be encapsulated in a single unit called class or a structure, you could say, it is called object-oriented programming. See, if I have a simple criteria which should be applied to the if I have a banking system, it is a criteria that every account holder should have an account number, should have a name, should have an address, age. It should be applied to every bank customer, every one who wants to open the account in the bank. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to define one class which holds these two properties, and every time the customer comes, I'm going to create an object which is the instance of this class, which holds all of the properties of the class. That's what we are going to define in this object-oriented interface in Matplotlib. We are going to create one object for our graph, and we could define the object, customize that object according to our needs. If we want another axis in that object, we could add that one. If you want another figure, color, mark points, up to what extent we want to customize, we can customize in the Matplotlib graph. So that's what object-oriented interface in Matplotlib is. Now we come to figure class in the Matplotlib. This class is the most used class in Matplotlib for defining an object-oriented interface in the Matplotlib. So figure class and the access class, these two classes are the widely used classes which define the object-oriented interface in the Matplotlib. So what is the figure class? We could just call the figure class by calling the plt.figure. What is PLT? PLT is nothing but the PyPlot module. PyPlot module present in the Matplotlib, which have depreciated the PyLab module, has this figure class already defined. And once we call this figure class, it is very simple to call. We could also give some of the properties to this figure class. If we want a simple figure to be this inches long or this inches high, we could also give that one. And if we could also define in the 1 inch how many dots, how many clarities, how many pixels we want, how much clear figure we want. If different face color but the different edge color, we could want the different width of the graph. We could always configure this figure class in the Matplotlib. And another class I was talking about was the access class. This access class is a wide range of properties. First of all, we could add the parameters. The parameters is nothing but the height, width, length. That's all we could define. Next is the legends. Legend is nothing but the labels. If we are defining some of the graphs, we could also have the scale. We always have the scale. At what scale I am going to define this graph. So that scale would be defined by this legends, and this legends have the beautiful property of placing that scales at the desired locations. So if I have some labels for the graph, if I have a graph which have multiple points and multiple plots, multiple figures, so each figure specify a specific amount of or a specific quality of the graph. So I could call this legends function or legends class in the access class. I could call this function and I could give the labels that for this graph, for this figure, this is the label, and for this figure, this is the label. And I also define the location where I want to put these labels. So I could notify the user that, hey, if you're looking at this graph, then this figure is corresponding to this one. Okay. And another one is access plot. This is the simple method how we plot the graph and where to plot the graph. We will use this all methods in the next program we are going to define. Okay. Now there are certain codes for modifying the access class, whether it is a color code or the marker code or the line style. In the color codes, there are some of the codes which define the colors, which color of graph I want to define. If I want my graph to be blue color or green color, as per my choice. And there are also the marker codes, as we seen earlier in the pie plot, that if at a certain point I have a specific property of the graph, if my graph is going straight upwards, but at some points I have some of the points which should be noted, that at this point, at this value, there is a certain change in the graph. So I could use the marker codes, whether it should be the dotted point or the X point or the O point. I'm just going to give it as a characteristic in the class or in the function, and it would be doing that for me. And another one is line style, how nicely I'm going to represent my graph. If it should be the solid line or the dashed line or the dotted line, as we discussed in the PyLab module. We discuss it very frequently, we discuss it very easily, but that was not how we use in real life. What we use in real life is object-oriented interface. So for that, we have another color codes, we have another marker codes, and we have another line styles, and they are defining types. So now let's create this type of graph using object-oriented interface and the PyPlot module in Matplotlib. Once again, I'm going to code one file, name it as test4.py, because we used 3 files earlier. And now I'm not going to call PyLab, I'm going to call PyPlot. So from Matplotlib, I'm just going to import PyPlot as PLT. And after that, I'm going to define some of the points in the y-axis, that is 1. Since I'm going to keep my y-axis constant, but my x-axis for the different graphs to be different. So there will be 2 different graphs which should have the 2 different x-axis but the same y-axis. That's how we plot multiple graphs in the same canvas. So my y-axis is 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49 and 64. Now my first x-axis for the first graph, I'm going to name it as x1, and it is 1, 16, 30, 42, 55, 68, 77 and 88. This is my first x-axis of the first graph. Now I'm going to define another x-axis for the second graph, that is 1, 6, 12, 18, 28, 40, 52 and 65. This is my x-axis of the second graph. Okay. Now I'm going to plot these 2 graphs in the same canvas. So I'm going to call this figure function from the plt.figure function, and I'm going to store all of these properties in the another variable, name it as fig. So I have my figure function properties in this fig variable, and I'm going to create one more variable, that is x, which would contain the properties of axis. So fig dot add axis, I'm going to call this add axis function. My axis should be 0, 0, 1 and 1. This is my parameters for this, for my axis. Now I'm going to call one more variable L1, which would be plotting x1 and y. So my L1 graph would be plotting x1 and y. So how it would be plotting? It would be calling this plot function from this axis. So plot, and what it is plotting? It is plotting x1 and y, but in the different manner. It would be plotting in the yellow color solid line. This should be the plotting criteria for my first graph. And for the second graph, it should be L2. And once again, I'm going to call this plot function plot, and it would be plotting x2 and y, but in the different manner. In the green with the oval markers and should be the dashed line. So in this, it is the yellow which has the solid mark points and it is a solid line, and another one is green which is the oval marker or circle marker with the dashed line. Okay, and after that I'm going to show these ones. So just call this plt.show function, and once I hit save, I run my program. Let's see if it works. And you could see it works. Now making use of legend function. So why my yellow graph specifies what and my green graph specifies what, that's what I'm going to define in the legend function. So using legend function, let's see how could we use that. Just call the legend function. So ax.legend, legend function is present in the axis class. So I'm going to call this function and I'm going to give the labels. First of all, my labels would be first would be for the TV and another would be for the smartphone. I'm going to compare these two inventions of science, TV and smartphones. So my first graph would be for the TV and my second graph would be for the smartphones, and these would be my labels. And after that I'm going to define the location where I want to put these. So I'm just going to put this at lower right corner. So lower right, and once I hit save, I run my program once again, and you could see in the lower right corner I got two of the legends which specify that my first graph is for TV and my second graph is for smartphones. As I mentioned TV first, so L1 is automatically considered as TV and green one is automatically considered as smartphones. So that's how we define object-oriented graphs in Matplotlib. Okay, so that's it from this video. Hope you're having a great day ahead. Thank you.
Let it go.